And you know what the crazy thing about that is? In the beginning, I didn't think she could do it, right? Because I know how clingy she was,
Right.
right? And prior to me having this case,
Mendeecees and Yandy have been through it all: love, drama, and even a prison sentence. But nothing could have prepared them for this. Their love story played out on Love and Hip Hop, and Yandy was praised for holding Mendeecees down while he was locked up. But now their marriage is on the verge of collapse. Mendeecees has officially filed for divorce, and the reason is a shocking DNA test that uncovered a truth he never saw coming. Sources say he discovered something so devastating that it completely shattered his trust in Yandy. The question is, what exactly did Yandy hide from him? And why did it take so long for the truth to surface? Stay tuned, because this story is packed with twists, and the truth behind their marriage is more complicated than anyone expected.
I asked her, like, why are you doing that? Like, because I'm in the inside, and
Right.
I was worried for her. And she was like, that could have been you in there. That could have been you living in them conditions.
Right.
So again, it hit close to home.
Right.
For years, Mendeecees and Yandy looked like the definition of a power couple. Whether it was on Love and Hip Hop or their social media pages, they always stood together, unshaken by rumors or drama. Yandy held Mendeecees down while he served time in prison, proving her loyalty to him in the toughest of times. But behind the carefully curated image, something was off. According to close sources, Mendeecees had been dealing with an uneasy feeling for a while, something he couldn't quite put his finger on. He wanted to believe that Yandy was everything she claimed to be, but a small voice in the back of his mind kept asking questions. Then came the conversation that changed everything. A longtime friend, someone deeply connected to their inner circle, pulled Mendeecees aside and dropped a bombshell. They had proof that Yandy hadn't been completely honest about something major, something that could change the way he saw their entire relationship. At first, Mendeecees refused to believe it. He knew how people love to stir the pot, especially when a couple is in the public eye. But then more whispers started coming his way. Different sources, same claim. He couldn't ignore it anymore. That's when the doubt started creeping in. He began replaying moments from their past, questioning things he had never thought twice about before. Why did certain situations feel so scripted? Why did some of Yandy's stories never quite add up? And if the rumors were true, what else had she been keeping from him? The more he thought about it, the more he realized he needed answers, not just for himself, but for his peace of mind. At some point, someone close to Mendeecees suggested the one thing that could settle his doubts once and for all: a DNA test. It's unclear whether he told Yandy about his plans or if he kept it to himself. Either way, he went through with it, and when the results came back, his entire world came crashing down. The test confirmed something Mendeecees never saw coming, something that turned his years of trust in Yandy into disbelief. This wasn't just about a minor lie or a misunderstanding. It was a revelation that shook him to his core, something that made him question everything about their marriage. When Mendeecees finally confronted Yandy, he expected her to shut it down immediately, to deny everything with the same confidence she had always carried, but instead, she hesitated. That one pause was all he needed. In that split second, Mendeecees knew the truth. His worst fears weren't just paranoia, they were real. And no matter how much he had loved Yandy, no matter how much history they shared, there was no coming back from this.
I've been let down my whole life.
Right.
I had expectations, and everyone I had expectations let me down. And I didn't want this relationship ruined.
Did you tell her that?
I told her
tell her that, but did you really mean that?
I didn't mean it. I didn't mean it. I ain't gonna lie, I didn't mean it. I wanted to see if she take the exit.
Right.
Like if he giving me a, like
If
sometimes
he give it out, I'm gonna take it.
sometimes you give someone an out and see if they take it.
Yeah.
And if they take it, that's what they really want, the out.
Mendeecees didn't react right away. He had been through enough in life to know that the loudest response isn't always the smartest one. Instead of blowing up, he kept his emotions in check and started connecting the dots. He replayed old conversations in his mind, moments where Yandy had reassured him, where she had told him things that now seemed suspicious. Had there been signs all along that he had ignored? Had she been carefully crafting a narrative while he trusted her blindly? Determined to get the full picture, Mendeecees started reaching out to people who had been around them for years. Friends, family members, even business associates. Anyone who might have insight into what was really going on. And what did he found? Only made things worse. Some people admitted they had their own suspicions about Yandy, but never spoke up. Others hinted that certain things in her past didn't quite add up, but no one had ever questioned her directly. There were whispers of inconsistencies in her stories, things that didn't match up when you really looked at them. Then Mendeecees took his search even deeper. He started analyzing financial records, looking at years of transactions, and asking himself whether everything had been as transparent as it seemed. He combed through social media posts, comparing timelines, trying to spot any gaps or contradictions. And when he checked old text messages and call logs, that's when everything became crystal clear. He had been lied to, not just recently, but for years, and the truth was sitting right in front of him. At that point, there was no denying it. Yandy hadn't just hidden something from him. She had built their entire life around a secret. And now that he knew the truth, he had only one thing left to do. Mendeecees wasn't going to explode. He wasn't going to storm in with accusations. He was going to handle this the same way he handled everything else: calm, calculated, and in control. When he finally sat Yandy down, he didn't yell, he didn't throw anything. He just asked her direct questions. Simple, straightforward. At first, Yandy did what she always did. She played it cool. She brushed it off, acting like it was a misunderstanding. She insisted that things weren't what they seemed. But Mendeecees had already done his homework. He wasn't buying it. That's when he pulled out the proof, the DNA results, the one thing that couldn't be argued or explained away, and at that moment, Yandy had no choice but to admit the truth. But here's where things took an even darker turn. Instead of breaking down in regret, instead of apologizing for keeping this from him for so long, Yandy tried to justify it. She didn't deny what had happened. Instead, she started explaining why she did what she did, as if there was a way to make it make sense, as if Mendeecees should somehow understand and move past it. But for Mendeecees, that was the final blow.
I had to let her know, I'm here. Like, don't take advantage, because I'm here, right here. She knows. She knows. It's not this, she knows. Like, we've been together for a while to know that it's not my thing.
For Mendeecees, Yandy's response was almost as painful as the betrayal itself. He had expected denial. He had expected tears. But what he didn't expect? Justification. According to insiders, Yandy didn't crumble when faced with the truth. Instead, she tried to explain why she had done what she did. She claimed it was all for the sake of their family, that she had been protecting them from something Mendeecees just didn't understand. A lie was a lie, and this wasn't just any lie, it was something that had shaped their entire relationship. Mendeecees had spent years standing by Yandy, through thick and thin. He had defended their love against critics, ignored rumors, and believed in the family they built. And now, after everything, he was the one who had been deceived all along. That was the breaking point. This wasn't something that could be fixed with an apology or swept under the rug. It wasn't a rough patch they could move past. For Mendeecees, trust was everything, and once it was broken, there was no going back. That's when he made the biggest decision of his life. He wasn't just walking away emotionally, he was done, officially. He was filing for divorce, and once that decision became public, the internet lost its mind. The moment the court documents leaked, social media went into full meltdown mode. Fans were in shock, some were heartbroken, others furious, but one thing was clear. People were taking sides, and the debate was getting heated. On one side, there were those who felt for Mendeecees. They saw him as the real victim, betrayed by the one person he had trusted the most, the man who had spent years standing by his wife, only to find out she had been keeping something so huge from him. On the other side, Yandy's supporters. Some claimed that there had to be more to the story, that maybe Mendeecees was overreacting. Others speculated that he had his own skeletons in the closet and was just using this as an excuse to leave. Then came the conspiracy theories. Was this whole thing staged for publicity? After all, reality TV stars knew how to keep their names in the headlines. Or was there someone else involved? Someone Yandy had been protecting all along? Had she always known the truth and just hoped Mendeecees would never question it? And just when the debate reached its peak, Yandy finally spoke out. She posted an emotional video addressing the situation, but instead of denying the allegations outright, she took a different approach. She danced around the truth. She talked about love, sacrifice, and making difficult choices for family, but she never actually admitted to lying, and she definitely didn't apologize. That only made things worse.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
This whole situation is wild, but now I want to hear from you. Do you guys think Mendeecees made the right decision by filing for divorce? Was Yandy really trying to protect their family, or was she just covering up something bigger? And do you think there's even more to this story that we don't know yet? Let's get into it in the comments, because you know social media is already going crazy over this one. And if you want to stay updated on all the latest celebrity drama, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe so you never miss out on the hottest tea. Trust me, this is just the beginning. Gang, I've got even more inside info coming soon that will take this story to another level. So stay locked in, because things are about to get even messier.